From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie Butko.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Friday, July the 15th, 2022. We made it. Yes, we did. We made it to the end of the week. Happy Friday. Louie Butko here on the Ticats Audio Network, where you can catch tomorrow's game right here starting at 5 o'clock. And Andy Fantu's, Bubba O'Neill getting you set starting at 4 for Tiger Cats pregame. And then RJ and Luke will have the call beginning at 5 p.m. from Tim Hortons Field. Still time to get your tickets. Should be a beautiful day. And keep in mind a 5 p.m. kickoff for those who already have their tickets. And lots going on. South Plaza Saturdays, the first one. And speaking of Luke Tasker, he is our alumni of distinction for tomorrow's game. Lots to get into. Today was walkthrough, so lots to hear from, including Coach O, including Dane Evans, and we will hear from linebacker Kyle Wilson, who is set to make his first career CFL start. And why is he making his first career CFL start? Well, that's not good news. It's bad news if he's making his first career start, as we found out today that Simone Lawrence has been placed on the 6-game injured list. So we'll hear from Kyle Wilson. We'll hear from Coach on the loss of Sim, who injured his groin, and how it happened. Coach has the answer to that coming up in just a second. But let's check out the depth chart. Well, we got you here. This is how the Ticats will line up tomorrow against the Ottawa Redblacks. Let's start on the offensive line. At left tackle, you got Colin Kelly, making his second straight start. Brandon Revenberg got his spot at left guard. Alex Fontana activated off the 6-game injured list this week. He will be the starting center. Coulter Woodmansey at right guard. Chris Van Zyl at right tackle. Dane Evans, QB1. To his left, you'll have Don Jackson getting the start at running back. Jake Burt, listed as a starter as a fullback, but he is a game-time decision. Felix Garan-Gauthier backing him up. Out wide, you got Stephen Dunbar Jr. and Tyler Ternowski. At slot, you got Tim White, Braylon Addison, and Anthony Johnson making his first start in the CFL at slot back. Seth Small will handle the kicking. Michael Domagala will handle the punting, and we'll hear from Coach on where John Ryan is in just a sec. Gordon White's the long snapper, and Lawrence Woods the third will handle the kick return and punt return duties. Let's check defense. Up front, you got Mason Bennett, Micah Johnson, Dylan Wynn, and Julian House there. As mentioned, no Simone Lawrence for this one. Kyle Wilson gets the start at weak side linebacker. Jovan Santos Knox in the middle, and Cam Kelly at Sam linebacker. And in the secondary, no changes from last week, as left to right, it's Jamal Roll, Alden Darby Jr., Tunde Adeleke, Richard Leonard, and Ciante Evans. That's how the Ticats will line up tomorrow against the Redblacks. And for more on the Simone Lawrence injury, let's hear from the head coach and president of football operations. Here is Orlando Steinauer.
Yeah, he just actually made a hell of a play in practice, and just unfortunately strained himself there. And obviously it's too close to the game as of right now. So we'll know more down the stretch, but he won't be playing this week. A ball. That's what he's going to do. He's going to ball. We don't ask people to replace people. We want them to bring themselves. Simone is Simone. We want Kyle to bring Kyle. And this is what, you usually cut your teeth on special teams. And when you finally get an opportunity, it's up to the player to maximize it. But we won't be judged on how many plays or tackles or interceptions he makes. We want to judge him off of the plays that he was afforded the opportunity. Those are the plays we want him to make. Yeah, we thought John could use another week just to get acclimated and whatnot. So we'll go with Michael, and he'll handle our kickoff and our punting duties this week. I think naturally it does, but I think if you're putting players in there to be the player that was before him, that was about my comment earlier. You're taking away from that player and things that player may do a little bit better. Like Simone's unique. Like, he's done it for a long time. He's a veteran. He brings experience. He's been in big games. He's been in blowouts. He's been in all types of scenarios. The energy he brings is pretty much unmatched. If anybody that's been around here knows that you really can't tell if it's a game or practice. So Who fills it? We'll see. Yeah, you can't win 2 until you win 1, honestly. That's really, well, was everybody going to be excited? But there's a lot of hard work and execution that needs to happen before we look forward to that.
Montreal lost last night.
Mm-hmm.
The East dropped to 1-13 against the West this season.
Yep.
What do you make of that?
We play Ottawa at 5 o'clock. That's for a separate time. Love to talk about it another time, but we ask our players to be focused. We ask personnel, our therapists, our equipment person. I'm no different. No comment on that. Maybe another time. It's all Ottawa right now.
And that is the head coach and president of football operations, Orlando Steinauer, and no comment on the 1-13 record that the East Division has against the West so far this season. A couple of big games, one happening tonight. Of course, we got the Ticats. I mean, really every game this weekend's pretty big. But tonight on the CFL on TSN, you got the Calgary Stampeders taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a battle of undefeated teams. Of course, Saturday's game is a battle of teams looking for their first win, but also Touchdown Atlantic going down Nova Scotia tomorrow as the Saskatchewan Roughriders are in town to take on the home team, air quotes, the Toronto Argonauts. That should be a good way to whet your appetite for Saturday's Ticats game. So, still ahead, we're going to be joined by Tim Baines from the Ottawa Sun. Still, we are going to hear from Dane Evans, but let's hear from Kyle Wilson, set to make his first career CFL start. Here's what he had to say about getting this start tomorrow.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to get out there with the rest of the defense and just fill in for Simone and help the team get the first W. If I do my job and, do all the things the coaches tell me to do, I should be in a great position to make the plays that come to me, so I should be ready for it. Really just like little tendencies and really owning into what they already know and where to put me in my position and where I will fit in the defense. So it's really been helpful just being out there with a lot of vets. Football is just like that. Injuries happen, stuff happens. People play bad, stuff like that. So it's just always a next man up mentality. Next man always should prepare like he's a starter, so it should never be a problem. I take every game, regardless if I'm starting, playing special teams, not playing. I prepare for every game like a true pro and just being ready for my name to be called up.
And that is Kyle Wilson, and he did have his name called as he will be in the starting weak side linebacker spot in place of Simone Lawrence, who, if you missed the news, was placed on the 6-game injured list with a groin injury. Pappy White also placed on the 6-game injured list. He's dealing with a back injury. So Anthony Johnson, mentioned this, will be making his first career CFL start. Something Dane Evans spoke on, and we had a chance to catch up with Dane after practice. And just a reminder, full scrum's available at ticats.ca, as we also had a chance to catch up with Stephen Dunbar Jr., and you can check that out at ticats.ca. But here's a little bit of what Dane Evans had to say after walkthrough today.
Yeah, it just stinks because he is such a leader, right? He, especially this offseason, I've gotten really close to him. We both stayed up here this offseason, so got to see him at a lot of the charity and community events and stuff we did. Really learned a lot about him this offseason. Fantastic guy, and just for him, I feel for him, But I also know when he comes back, he's going to be full Simone all the way, And with Pop, y'all already know how I feel about Pop. I love Pop, man, and just kind of a thing it's kind of been a little bit of an issue. So it is tough again for us as a team. But I'm glad that he's going to take this time to heal and get ready, and he'll be back rocking and rolling when he comes back. Yeah, he was one of the guys that during training camp even kind of caught my eye a little bit, And in the first preseason game, I think he had a couple catches on my one drive that I got. He's obviously a huge guy, big target, and he's really picked up this offense pretty quick. And he might not be CFL experienced, but he's an experienced pro football player, right? So he is a rookie for the CFL, but he's also not. So I'm excited to see him go play. Yeah. Just, in the past, kind of we have smaller guys and stuff like that, and they're great too. They have different skill sets. But just me, I'm also a smaller guy. I'm short, right? So anytime we can get somebody big, especially over the middle or whatever, just a bigger catch radius, it's nice. And the biggest thing is it's going to sound weird to say, he's a big guy that plays like a small guy, right? He plays fast, he plays quick. He just happens to be bigger. So, I mean, we're playing an East opponent, so it's always a must-win, whether we're 4-0 or 0-4 or 2-2, and you're playing someone in the East, you better come to win the game because it counts towards your conference, right? It counts towards your division. I think every week is kind of a must-win, but especially when you're playing a team in the East. It's our first crack at it, so we're ready to go. Hell yeah. That's why we do this, man. We want to get a win. We know we could be whatever record and whatever, but that's all in the past. It don't matter no more. We're moving forward. Let's go play. We're going to win the game. Ottawa's coming here to win the game. We understand that, right? We know it's going to be a battle. It's an East opponent, and we're ready. We're ready to get after it. I would add their front seven with the backers as well. I think they're better than decent. I think they're really good up front. Some of the guys have been here in the past, a couple years ago or last year, so know them pretty well, know how they play, really respect how they play too. They're really good players. Their linebacker core is up there in the CFL. It's one of the better ones, and that doesn't mean they just drop off on the back end, right? Like they have a solid defensive unit all the way around. They have a good scheme, a great DC. So we know we have a challenge ahead of us, but like I've told you all week, I think we're a pretty good offense too. So I think they got a challenge in front of them too.
And that is Dane Evans as he spoke after practice today, after walkthrough today. Not a full practice, but I will let you know that you mentioned Simone there. Simone was there, was wearing his uniform, and it's just obviously tough to see a leader like Sim and someone who means so much to this team, so much to this franchise, hit the 6-game injured list. Just really, really unfortunate. But I will say this about Kyle Wilson. A lot of people in that building are excited to see what he can do in that spot. He is big. He is physical. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but man, seeing him up there on the podium, and if you haven't, go to ticats.ca. Like he's jacked and he's ready for his opportunity. And like I said, I think there's more than a couple people in the building who have been waiting to see him and what he can do out there. He's been so good on special teams, and it'll be interesting. Definitely a player to watch come tomorrow, and hopefully you're here in person, as there's tons of great deals to get you inside the building. You can sit in the Stelco North End for $15. There's some family passes, 4 tickets for $99, and that includes a $25 all-access card to get anything you want in the stadium, basically, with that card. So ticats.ca/tickets, or give us a call, and one of the ticket reps here will be able to hook you up. All right, for more on Saturday's game, very pleased now to be joined by the Ottawa Sun's Tim Baines. And Tim, this game really doesn't have the same gravitas we thought it would have with the return of Jeremiah Masoli. Obviously unfortunate, but just what are you expecting to see tomorrow afternoon?
Well, I think when you're really looking to find any way you can to get a W, as the players and coaches say, I mean, every game at this point is big. You've got 2 0-4 teams, really both looking to find their footing. And as far as there still is a little bit of that Ticat connection with the Redblacks, obviously. Jalen Acklin in particular says he might be talking a little smack in the direction of Tunde Adeleke. So,
yeah, I could see Jalen doing that. It seems that the Redblacks are using this Masoli injury as a rallying point. And for an 0-4 football team, like you asked Coach about there, the 0-0 mindset, that it seems like this is a rallying cry for this team.
It's a tough way to have a rallying cry, really, when you lose your starting quarterback, certainly in controversial circumstances. But it's, again, next man up, Caleb Evans, with a little bit of experience last year being pushed into the starter role. And we'll see. I mean, it's certainly going to be a short rope, I think, on Caleb Evans with the trade for Nick Arbuckle this week. So I think it's a one-game, let's see what he does thing. And if the Ottawa Redblacks go back home 0-5, we could see another quarterback change the following week.
If the Redblacks were to win this game, what needs to happen?
The Ticats need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, one of these teams is going to be 0-5 next week, and there are always questions when a team is struggling to win football games. There are things that are going on within, and these are. It's not like either of these teams is getting blown out by 30 points week after week. It's tough, and you could look at. In both cases, I think each team could be, and maybe should be, 2-2 right now. So I don't think you would see drastic changes. It's the fine-tuning. You've got to figure out a way to hang on to leads. In Ottawa's case, they've made some mistakes. I don't even know how to describe it. Bad luck. Bad timing.
Sounds familiar. Sounds really familiar the way you're
I think it's going on with both teams,
Yeah.
and as I said, both teams could very well be 2-2, and we wouldn't be having this discussion. And actually, with 2 wins, they'd both, I guess, be tied for first place in the East Division, which is something else.
One of them could be in first place after this week, though. I mean, one of them might be, right?
Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy? And we watched the Montreal game last night, and we wonder what's going on here again, because it's not like the East teams are getting blown out. But they can't find a way to win. Montreal, being the exception, did find a way actually to blow out the Eastern team. Or the Western team.
Yeah.
It's difficult to put a finger on what's going on right now.
And my thanks to Tim Baines for a little catch-up in the TELUS Media Center, getting set for tomorrow's game. Speaking of getting you set for tomorrow's game, a brand new episode of Ticats This Week with RJ Broadhead and Luke Tasker now available. And remember, Tiger Cats Game Day gets you started tomorrow on the Ticats Audio Network as Mike Daly and Courtney Stephen get you set. Speaking of Mike Daly, he will join Luke Tasker. Luke is the alumni of distinction tomorrow night, but he'll be in the South Plaza signing autographs. Brandon Stewart will be there. Rob Hitchcock will be there. And hopefully we'll see you there too. 3:30 is when everything gets started at the South Plaza. 5 o'clock is kickoff as the Ticats take on the Ottawa Redblacks. All right, enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We are back on Monday. Thanks for listening this week. Thanks for listening every day. We really do appreciate it. Could not do the show without your support. I'm Louie Butko, hoping you have a great day and a great weekend. Go Cats.
Ticats Today can be heard every weekday, and we would like to hear from you. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Have a question or an opinion? We want to hear it. That's gameday@ticats.ca. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.